Welcome, Conan fans. This is Conan vs. Rune from comic book legend Barry Windsor Smith. This cover has always reminded me of this cover. I'm not sure if it is the color palette, the position that Conan is in, at the same time, the position the enemy is in. These purples, and Smith always leans more towards a blue and purple color palette, splashes of red. Conan vs. Rune, 1995. Barry Windsor Smith, writer and art. Conan is traveling through the eastern desert of Tehran. He has been 5 days on a diet of lizards when he sees an encampment from a plane high above. As he reaches the settlement, there is a small tree on fire. In the city's stone and copper walls, he sees the glint of a jewel at the bottom of stairs. Conan arms himself, goes down to the bottom, picks the jewel up, hears gears grinding, and the door slams behind him. He curses himself. Sparks fly as he beats upon the door. Then he hears the sound of his horse with ribs snapping. He can tell that something is slaughtering and eating his horse. Then he realizes whatever it is has trapped him inside. Conan goes to seek a way out. Treading the dark halls, he trips and he falls. He has tripped over remains half eaten. He hears someone say, "Help me." He finds a man still alive. He asks what happened. The man tells him there is an unholy creature in the midst. Then he tells Conan the story of how they found him in the desert, beaten in battle and nearly dead. As they nursed him to health, they began to see him as a god, and the people of the city served him and reverenced him as a god. Though he was not, a handmaiden that ministered to him while he was healing went to kiss him in their custom traditions. That is when he bit her head off and consumed it in front of the city. That is when the carnage began. The man goes on to tell Conan hundreds were killed. None has escaped. Conan says he shall, and I will help you. The man says it is too late, that he is half eaten, and bids Conan to go warn that the devil is upon the land. Conan tells him that he is lost in these dark halls. He asks how does he get out. The man, with his dying breath, coughing, tells Conan to go below and asks Conan for a favor of mercy. Conan says, "Aye, if your gods still listen, speak to them now." The man mutters a prayer. There is a cold flash of steel, and it is done. Conan, with his sword leading, kicks against the remains as he treads the halls. He begins to hear a stirring, a buzzing and humming noise. As he comes out into the opening, he realizes that it is insects and creatures feeding on the remains of thousands of bodies. Conan walks into the midst, sees a grotesque throne. Enraged, he begins to destroy it and declares his challenge. He calls out for Rune and says that I am here to kill you. Faster than lightning, Rune is upon him. He pins Conan to the ground, takes his sword, and tells him to beg for mercy, to beg to his god. He taunts Conan. He calls him Little Pink Man, when suddenly Conan kicks him off and says, "I pray to no one, dog," and tells him he will not taste his blood. Conan says that he is no weak-livered Tyrannian rabbit hiding in the shadows. Cimmerian is he. Rune challenges Conan, calling him a coward because he needs a sword. Conan drops his sword and the fight begins. Conan is suddenly champion of the city as Rune continues to taunt Conan and tells him to pray. Conan fights on as Rune's talking enrages him even more. Then suddenly, Rune is the first to fall. Conan goes down with him. Rune gets on top of Conan. He continues to taunt Conan, calling him Samaria, telling him to lament before his god, when suddenly Conan stabs Rune in the neck with a sharp bone. He says that is for his horse, and this vermin is for you, as he kicks Rune off. He gets Rune in top mount and begins to beat him. Conan rains down punches in any opening he can find, till the gristle and bone in his hands is showing. Then Rune falls still. Conan sees the jewels. He goes to take them, and Rune is alive again. In a crack of fire, Conan is transported to an otherworldly vision where he sees Rune, a cosmic entity, and hears the screams of millions of innocents that he has killed, sees his sadistic rituals as Rune becomes bugs that consumes worlds. As Conan lays in black blood and the human remains, the bugs begin to crawl on him. He cannot move, so he lets out a scream. As Conan roars, he awakens. He is alive, and he is by himself, as the bugs still cling to his skin. He does not know why he lives. He sees his sword. He sees his horse's skull, and the runes written in blood on the wall, blistering his hands without feeling it. He takes his sword and slings the skull off. As the skull explodes, Conan remembers what the man told him. Go, spread this warning afar. The devil is upon this land. Let all men fear. As he walks away, triumphant over Rune. In the first months, I did not like it. All that I could see was Barry Windsor Smith advertising Rune. And I remember Rune from the 90s, some vampire-like character. At one time, he was what Conan would call a bald pate, and then the other time he had hair. I do not remember which came first, as it was not Conan. As time has moved on, I have come to realize not only is it a masterpiece in art, but it is masterfully written. It is very pulp feeling. The dialogue, the narration is perfect. There's a heroic prose to the story. Although you can tell in some of the art that Barry was certainly advertising in Marvel for Rune. Some of these, it just looks like he took more time with Rune than he did Conan. Of course, Barry Smith was a fan of the pre-Raphaelite era of art. The first to draw Conan in comics definitely looks different from Marvel's original run, but it works so flawlessly. Conan carries this sword that the guard looks like it is a part of the blade, and there's a coin in the middle with this hook on the end. It looks very ceremonial, very Hyborian themed. Conan. The grim look, the size of Conan. This is one of those books that I have come back to over the years and liked it more and more each time that I have looked at it. I do not count what he did independently. The worst thing about it is knowing that there is no more. This is a 10-tale, and it's not a crossover, it's a Conan tale. One of those masterpieces. Call it Universal Conan. Conan fans, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned for what's next.